Have you noticed that some situations or people can trigger you over and over again? A conversation, a conflict, a situation that occurs can bring up very familiar feeling inside of you. A fear of rejection, feeling not good enough, feeling not smart enough, and so on. This is not coincidence. Let's talk about it today. My name is Ania Haas, and I am transformation coach, mentor, author of the book, and I have dedication in my life to help people like you to get confident through the power of the self-worth, through the power of discovering this inner essence. Welcome back to my channel. You see, when you have unresolved traumas, unresolved feelings, hurt feelings, you remember situations, or sometimes you don't even remember situations that happened in the past. Maybe they happened in your childhood, but they are sitting inside of you, somewhere in your bones, somewhere in your muscles and your organs. And every situation, especially when you are a sensitive person, and I believe you are a sensitive person because you are watching my channel, and being sensitive with unresolved situations, unresolved traumas and feelings can set you right away on fire. Every situation that happens, you are going to take it personally because of not the situation itself, but because of your own perception of that situation. Unresolved traumas, unresolved and unhealed wounds from the past, they are never disappearing. They are lying dormant somewhere deep inside of your subconscious mind. And if the environment happens to trigger that dormant feeling, it will happen. It's going to happen. You see, the universe is going to be facing you over and over again with the situations, so you can face those unresolved traumas. The result of not facing your unresolved traumas and hurt feelings has an impact on every aspect of your life. The more you are being triggered by those occurrences and situations, the more you are reminding yourself about the inner conclusion, negative inner conclusion about yourself, and the more from being actively involved in your life, you're pulling yourself back into the passive observer of your life. The oversensitivity is like a mirror. It reflects your wounds to you over and over again. So the universe is going to keep bringing up those situations, those people to trigger you. And it's not because the universe wants you to suffer. This is the way the universe is communicating with you and letting you know about what needs to be healed from inside. And so choose to be courageous, choose to face and resolve those inner traumas, because then you can bring yourself back from that passive observer back into actively being involved in creating your life. Many sensitive people, and many people in general, they would like to look away from their problems. They want to look away from what hurts. And so the consequence of that is going through life and taking this journey without making changes. And so instead, know that there is no beautiful bandage that is going to cover your wound. You have to take off this bandage. You have to look what is inside. You have to not only look, but you have to understand when and how it's impacting you. And especially, you need to shift the conclusion that you created about yourself and about your life. In that way, you will be able to resolve this knot of energy and then move on in your life. The process of self-discovery takes time, so be very patient with yourself and be very kind and compassionate with yourself in that journey. What are 3 ways for you to start practicing to overcome the oversensitivity? Number 1 is to observe your patterns. Observe everything. Observe when you are being triggered, what triggers you. Is it specific words? Is it specific look? Is it specific energy that triggers you? Ask more questions, sit with that. Don't put it aside. Take time to explore the wideness and depthness and the depth of that feeling. And so ask a question. When did I start feeling this way? What type of conclusion I made about myself and about my life? You see, the universe hears you and sees you, and every single time that you are choosing with courageous way to face yourself, to explore yourself, very slowly it's going to give you more clues about you, about the source of your wounds. And so when you start practicing self-reflection, self-awareness, and observation, you'll very quickly be able to find the source of the biggest problem in your life and resolve it. Number 2 is practicing non-reactivity. And what I mean by that, when the situation happens that you are being triggered, most of people, 99.9% of us, entire population, is reacting to the trigger. Instead, I'm inviting you to start practicing elongating the space from the occurrence to the reaction. It calls for self-control. It's not easy to do because the trigger goes straight into your subconscious mind. And until you are working with your unresolved trauma and unhealed feelings, you have very little of control over what comes up from your automatic nervous system. And so this is very important. Elongating that moment of reaction can happen through many different tools. You can use your breathing, you can use counting, you can refocus your attention on something different than the problem that you are facing. Number 3 is to feel your emotions. Yes, I'm asking you to feel your emotions. When you are going through healing process, different emotions can occur, and I'm inviting you to not differentiate between good or bad, just emotion itself. And I will tell you a little bit story of mine. One of my biggest, the source of everything for me was the state of self-worth. I felt not good enough. And when I started to be working and healing this aspect of me that was feeling like a little girl, never feeling good enough, I started to be noticing how I gave away and gave up my power. to individuals that I thought loved me, but I felt mistreated and misused. So basically, first, I was experiencing lots of anger. I was angry with people that I called they mistreated me. Then my next stage of my healing was to realize that all of those people, they were not there to hurt me, but they were messengers of the information about what inside of me needs to be heard. So I put aside all of them, but I started to be facing different emotions, and my emotions were connected to how I dared not protecting myself and allowing others to take an advantage of me. And so different set of emotions showed up. The emotions were more related to my shame. I was ashamed that I did not protect myself, like mom protects own child. If I am a mom inside of myself, there's a part of me that is mom to me. How I did not protect this inner child that was facing mistreatment. And so then there was this stage of me healing. And then at the very end, I put it all together, and I became very thankful for every individual, every occurrence, and every situation in my life that came to me from the universe, because I faced them. They were reflecting my own inner wounds, and when I healed them, my life started to be fully shifting into totally different life scenarios. So I am inviting you to work with your emotions, because different scale of emotions are necessary in your healing journey. I also want you to know that healing is a process. The same as your life journey, it's a process. And so when you decide to be taking the step and facing your own feelings and facing the traumas from your life, then I want you to become very kind, very gentle, and very present for yourself. Sometimes it seems like we can understand so much, and sometimes everything goes down. And don't put yourself down because you are in that down situation. Wait for another wave of your understanding, because the universe is going to always show you bits and pieces that you are ready to let go, that you are ready to face. And so before the next wave is going to come and show up for you, you can just work on yourself and work on lifting your vibration. I also invite you to work with somebody, a professional that can help you to face your feelings. Professionals like me, I am trained not only through psychology, but I'm also expert in the self-worth. I love this work because I lived through it. I released that, and I feel your feelings. I know, I can understand your feelings. Let me know in the comments down below if you started to be noticing the triggers in your life and can pinpoint the emotions that are being triggered by the situation or the conflict. And if you want to go deeper, I'm inviting you to get a copy of my book, The Essential Thread, in which I write about self-worth and I coach you through the process and the self-discovery process and transformation. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. Tag somebody that would benefit from a program like this about building unshakable self-worth and inner strength. Alright, I am going to see you tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll be discussing the information about the self-doubt. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.